He was the quietest man on the construction site, always in the corner, always alone. The workers thought he was inexperienced, but when an unexploded grenade was found, while everyone else waited in panic for police and fire department, he calmly stepped forward, because this was his area of expertise. Mike Henderson was 52 years old, medium height with gray hair. He had been working at Peterson Construction Company in Brooklyn for 6 months. Every morning he would come quietly, do his work, and sit alone during breaks. The other workers saw him as an inexperienced rookie because he never talked much or asked questions. "This guy Mike doesn't know anything about construction," said Tony Ricci, one of the site's veteran workers. "He's been here 6 months but still asks basic questions." Carlos Martinez nodded. "I noticed too. It's like he's never done construction work before, but weird thing is, he works very calm and methodical." Mike heard these conversations but never said anything. He would just smile and continue his work. Because there was a truth they didn't know. Mike Henderson really wasn't a construction worker. That morning had started like any other. The crew was continuing demolition work on an old building in downtown Manhattan. The building was from the 1940s, and when digging foundations, sometimes old things would turn up. Old coins, old newspapers, sometimes strange metal pieces. "Mike, come over here," Tony shouted. "We found another weird thing." "Come take a look." Mike put down his shovel and approached. Where Tony was pointing, there was a metallic object half emerged from the dirt. Mike glanced at it and immediately froze. Because he'd recognized that object, he knew it very well. "Step back," Mike said, authority in his voice for the first time. "What?" "Why?" Carlos asked. "It's just an old piece of metal." "No," Mike said, his calm but firm tone surprising everyone. "That's an unexploded grenade. Step back immediately." Tony laughed. "Mike, what do you know about bombs? This is just an old—" "Entire crew, step back!" Mike shouted, this time like giving a command. "Now!" His voice was so authoritative that everyone froze. This wasn't the quiet, shy Mike. This was someone completely different. "Tony, you and Carlos, tell the other workers. They need to get at least 200 meters away. Carlos, contact the foreman, call police and fire department. We need a bomb disposal team." "How do you know this is a bomb?" Tony asked, now serious. Mike hesitated. The truth he'd been trying to hide for 6 months was now coming out. "Because I've seen hundreds of them before." The workers stared at Mike in amazement. They really didn't know who this man was. "Everyone move away. I'll stay here and monitor the situation," Mike said. "You?" Carlos asked. "You're a construction worker." Mike looked at him and for the first time didn't smile. "No, Carlos, I'm not." Police and fire department arrived 20 minutes later. Bomb disposal specialist Sergeant James Rodriguez approached the site with his team. While preparing to secure the area, he noticed Mike. Mike had established a security perimeter around the bomb, evacuated the area, and marked the object so no one would touch it. All procedures were perfect. "Who took these security measures?" Rodriguez asked. "That guy over there," Tony said, pointing to Mike. "Someone named Mike. He's a construction worker, but somehow he knew this was a bomb." Rodriguez approached Mike and looked at him carefully. Then he stopped. "Wait, are you Mike Henderson?" Mike looked up and saw Rodriguez. "Hello, James?" "Brigadier General Henderson?" Rodriguez shouted. "Sir, I recognized you, but what are you doing here?" All the construction workers froze. "Brigadier General?" "James, I'm retired now," Mike said calmly. "But this is an MK2 pineapple grenade, probably left over from World War II. The safety pin is corroded, but it could still be active." Rodriguez immediately stood at attention. "Yes, sir. I understand, sir." "James, we're not in official capacity. Mike is fine," Mike said with a smile. Okay, Mike, have you assessed the situation? Yes, the device has been underground for about 70 years. Metal parts are corroded, but we don't know the condition of the internal mechanism. Moving it is risky. In-place disposal is the safest option. Rodriguez nodded. You're right. I'll prepare my team. During this conversation, the construction workers listened in shock. Brigadier General? Tony whispered. Our Mike was a brigadier general? Carlos was also amazed. We've been working with him for 6 months and he never said anything. While Mike watched Rodriguez's team work, the workers approached him. Mike. I mean, sir? Tony said hesitantly. Mike is fine, Tony, Mike said with a smile. My military life is behind me. But were you really a brigadier general? Mike took a deep breath. There was nothing left to hide now. I served 29 years in the U.S. Army. Started in explosive ordnance disposal, bomb disposal unit. Then special operations, then command. I served in Afghanistan, Iraq, worldwide. So why are you working as a construction worker? Carlos asked. Because after I retired, I wanted to live a normal life. A life where nobody knew me as General Henderson, where I was just seen as Mike. But why didn't you tell us? Because if I had told you, you would have treated me differently. I just wanted to be like you guys, holding a shovel, earning a living. At that moment, Rodriguez returned with his team. Mike, the bomb's condition is more complex than we thought. The fuse mechanism still appears active and moving. It is dangerous. We'll do a controlled detonation in place. Good decision, Mike said. Blast radius? About 150 meters safe distance. I understand. Are you sure all workers are at distance? Yes, but you also need to move away. Mike nodded, but then stopped. James, the bomb's position is very close to the building's foundation support. If you detonate, the building structure could be affected. Rodriguez looked at the map. You're right. What do you suggest? Two options. Either we use a very small explosive to just neutralize the fuse mechanism, or we carefully lift it and move it to a safe location. The second is too risky. I know, but I'll do it. Rodriguez was surprised. General, you're retired. This is our job. James, I was a bomb disposal expert for 15 years. I was doing this job when you were still a kid. And this is my crew's safety. Mike looked at the workers. These men had been working with him for 6 months. He needed to protect them. Rodriguez, your team is too valuable. Don't risk them. I'll do it. Mike, Tony said, you're retired now. Why risk yourself? Mike looked at Tony. Because Tony, for 29 years, I swore to protect people. Being retired doesn't change that oath. Rodriguez nodded. Okay, but full protocol. Protective equipment, remote control system. Of course. An hour later, Mike was working next to the bomb in full protective gear. His hands were so steady, no different from 30 years ago. He carefully cleaned the dirt around the bomb, examined the fuse mechanism, and finally safely removed the pin. Neutralized, he said into the radio. All the construction workers applauded, but for Mike, this was just routine work. When the job was finished, the workers surrounded Mike. Mike, Carlos said, you're our hero. No, Mike said with a smile. I'm just a man doing his job, just like you guys. So what happens now? Tony asked. Will you still work with us? Mike thought. If you want me to, yes. But you won't call me Rookie anymore, right? Everyone laughed. Now we'll call you General Mike, Carlos said. Just Mike is fine, Mike said. I'm still the same man. Just with a bit more experience. From that day on, Mike Henderson still works at Peterson Construction. But nobody calls him a rookie anymore, because sometimes the quietest people are the ones with the biggest stories. And whenever any suspicious object is found on the site, they all know who to ask. Mike. because he's not just a construction worker, he's a life saving hero.